Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Pauline, and today I'm going to talk about the pandemic that really shook the whole world and putting some worry and anxiousness to all the people. This video specifically is made for moms. I know that even myself, we are all worried about contracting the virus, especially that we have our babies at home or we are carrying the baby inside our tummy if you are pregnant. I joined in this pregnancy unfiltered group in Facebook, and it raised some interesting questions and topics about pregnant women and breastfeeding moms who are afraid to get in contact with the virus, and they had some questions about what can they do if they tested positive for the virus. So a few days ago I did some research about what can we do to protect ourselves as the moms and our babies, who are one of the most vulnerable sector of the community. So to address this concern and issue, and I would like to say at least minimize the anxiousness, I would like to start that breast milk is rich in antibodies. These antibodies are responsible for protecting the immunity of our little one. And also, I know some of you moms out there have heard some benefits of breast milk in a form of treatment. Like I've heard some stories that breast milk can treat sore nipples, or if you have any cracked nipples or cracked lips. I've heard that it also treats cradle cap and dry skin. So that alone, we can say that breast milk is really has its healing properties. So this video is specifically for breastfeeding moms and the things that you have to know and do if you tested positive for the COVID virus. First is that research shows that the COVID virus can be transmitted or contracted through person-to-person contact, and it can also dwell on other surfaces such as fabric, paper, metals, I think. I will put some link in the description box below for more information about how long the virus can stay and dwell in those surfaces. I would like to emphasize that the research about whether the virus can be transmitted through the breast milk is still in progress. The advice from medical professionals is to please continue breastfeeding your baby even if you're positive of the virus. Which leads on to the next thing that you have to know if ever you're positive of the virus and you still want to continue breastfeeding. So the basics is to practice safety precautionary measures. I would say extra precautionary measures, especially because a baby has weak immune system and you don't want to risk it. So the basic is to wash your hands thoroughly, and we've heard a lot of sources about how to wash your hands thoroughly, that you have to rub in between your fingers with a foamy soap, that you had to finish the whole birthday song while you were washing your hands. Next is to wear a mask. It could be a surgical mask or a washable fabric mask. Any mask will do as long as you're wearing one, because medical professionals said that wearing a mask is a form of respiratory hygiene, and in that way you are reducing the risk of transmitting the virus to your baby. Another tip to practice respiratory hygiene is to put some air purifier or humidifier in the same room where you stay most times during the day. This is to make sure that you're breathing clean and humidified air inside the room or inside the house. You also want to make sure that you are replacing the water regularly in the humidifier, especially because there are some residue. If you have tried cleaning a humidifier, there are like some residues inside, and that's gonna washing it can prevent the bacteria from building up. And for the purifier, you also want to make sure that you're washing it regularly. Next is to make it a habit to disinfect the things and the surfaces that you are getting in contact with. So if you are breastfeeding in the nursery room, and let's say you sat on the swivel or the gliding chair while you are nursing, so it's safe to disinfect the chair by, let's say, if you have some Lysol wipes or any wipes with alcohol, disinfect the armrest or just the chair in general, and that way you are reducing the risk of the virus spreading into your home. Also, if you're using boppy pillows while you're nursing like I do, so you want to make sure that you're changing the covers regularly and you're washing it with gentle soap, especially if your baby has very sensitive skin. And the next thing that I also would like to emphasize, and one of the most important thing, is if you are positive of the virus and if you are too unwell to feed your baby, please don't hesitate to reach out for help. It could be a family member, it could be some friends, it could be the community, or if you have a local nurse, if you have their phone number, please reach out to them. There are some ways you can do to still provide breast milk to your baby without you personally feeding them, and one of them is expressing your own breast milk. If you can afford to buy an electric pump, that would be a great alternative rather than you yourself manually expressing the milk, especially if you have the virus and you don't want to stress yourself too much. Also, if there's an adult in the house whom the baby can trust, it would be better if he or she will be the one to feed the baby with your own breast milk, and also that way you are reducing the stress of the baby, especially in the first place that you are away from him or her. It could be your spouse, it could be your boyfriend, it could be your partner, it could be your mom or any family member of the household whom the baby trusts. Compared to having a stranger or an unfamiliar face to feed your baby using your breast milk, it's gonna stress the baby out, and we don't want that to happen. Still practice safety precautions when you're expressing your milk. You also would want to sterilize the pumping materials and the bottles, and make sure that before you are doing it, you're thoroughly washing your hands. And I would also suggest washing your breasts before you express the milk. That way there's no residue from lotions and sweats that could get into the milk. Learning how to properly store breast milk is also a great thing, especially because you have no idea how long you will be self-isolated for observation. So I will put in some link in the description box below on how to properly store your breast milk, so that's another resource for you to consider. Next is you can also consider relactating. So that means that you can stop within the period of the time where you are brought to the hospital and get isolated and observed. So from what I heard, a person who's tested positive for the virus will be isolated for 14 days in the hospital. So with that being said, that means that you can relactate after 14 days if and only if there are no other complications once you are tested positive for the virus. You can temporarily feed your baby some formula while you are under observation in the hospital, and you can absolutely relactate after the procedure. I will also put a link in the description box below on some tips on how to relactate. And the last thing that you wanted to do if you are tested positive for the virus and you still wanted to give breast milk to your baby is to consider human breast milk donor. If you have a local breast milk bank, that would be a great option as well. Make sure to have their contact information beforehand, so then you just have to call them and ask if they have any supply. If you also have a mom friend who's also breastfeeding and is also willing to express some milk and give it to your baby, absolutely, that is one of the best thing you can do. And that way you know the person, you basically know what you are giving to your child. I really do hope and pray that this will all be over soon, the soonest possible time, because we all know that our economy is going down. People are losing their jobs. I really pray and wish that this will all be gone soon, and I hope you do too. Please do your part. Stay at home, practice safety precautionary measures. Do not go out if it's not essential. So that's it, everyone. Please be safe, and also please make sure to like this video, share this to your friends who are also breastfeeding moms as well, to raise awareness, and subscribe to my channel. Again, this is Pauline. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.